Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So we had a pretty good month of November 2003, I would say, but despite our excellent record of 16-4-2, we are still not first in the East. That feat belongs to the Flyers, who have played the same amount of games as we did, but they have 2 more points than us. So basically, they lost 1 less game and won 1 more than we did. And it's the team we are about to face right now. So we're about to take a look at their team and maybe figure out why they are so good. On the injury front, we only have Tim Gleason that is injured, and he's about to come back. He's day-to-day. He's on the injured reserve for 3 more days, I think. So that should be not too bad. And I checked for a trade, perhaps. There is, yet again, nothing interesting, nothing higher than a 2-star player or anything like that. I already have some depth, so I'm not really worried about that. Alright, so let's take a look at the Flyers here and see why they are so good. So like I said, they are 17-3-2. Which is good for first in the East. Maybe not for long. If we can beat them, we might leapfrog them. Right, no injuries there. They do have Martin St. Louis that's suspended, so that's good for us. Yeah, looks like they continue to go with not so strong goaltending as far as, their ratings go. But they're winning games, I guess that's all that matters. So Corey Schwab and Steve Shields in net. They are both Alpha Star. Then we have Modry, Mitchell Kurtz, Mickey Dupont, Eric Weinrich, Pavel Trankondi. Yeah, that's alright. Williams, Gagne, Cook, St. Louis, Brennan Moore, Lindros, Zart Vadit, Darcy Tucker, Smith, Santella, Zubrus, Valery Buri, Mark Rickey, Miguel Renberg, and Tony Dahlman. So it is a pretty strong team. Although I am very not sure how they're able to keep winning with bad goaltending. I mean, the Flyers historically have had a lot of problems with goaltending. That's especially in that era there. So I don't know. Let's see if we can beat them. Alright, so Steve Shields is going to be in net for the Flyers. Looks like he's their starter. And we are going with Ryan Miller. We did play the Flyers in preseason and tied the game. And we won 5-3. Alright, so good start to the month. We outshot the Flyers 42-23. Jason Spezza was the first star. He had a goal and 2 assists. Eric Weinrich was the second star with 2 assists. And Pavel Datsyuk, third star with a goal and an assist. 16,004 people in attendance for this game. Alright, so we had Pavel Datsyuk open up the scoring in the first period. Assisted by Jason Spezza and Martin Avlat. It was 1-0 after 1. Then a bunch of goals in the second period. So we had Sheldon Sorry score from Jason Spezza and Zdeno Chara. Then Alexei Yashin scored on the power play from Adam Denmarsh and Brian McKay. Made it 3-0 Sens. Then the Flyers scored, but 11 seconds later, Daniel Alfredson scored on the power play from Alexei Yashin and Adam Denmarsh. And then, like 30-something seconds later, the Flyers scored again. It was 42 after 2. And then we would trade goals in the third period. Simon Gagne scored for the Flyers, made it 4-3. And then with 1 second to go, Jason Spezza scored an empty netter from Pavel Datsyuk and Zdeno Chara, made it 5-3. That shows that it's not Jacques Martin, the coach, because Jacques Martin would never have put Jason Spezza as a rookie to finish the game like that to protect the lead. That would never have had happened with Jacques Martin. All right. Right, Lawrence is available. I'm not picking him up. Oh, Melnick is still very happy. We went 9-2-3 last month. All right, so we are considered first. I will take it. All right. Oh, Bill. Bill keeps getting suspended in Columbus. He was behaving himself with us for the most part. And now he is suspended for 9 games. Wow. Alright, so Jean Perron is the coach for Tampa Bay, and he might lose his job because Tampa Bay is 5-16 to start the season. Todd Bertuzzi's point streak ended at 18 games, so he was held pointless against the Capitals. And we are about to play the Panthers in Florida. Panthers are 9-15-2. That's good for 10th in the East. Wow. 10th and that poor of a record. We did beat Florida once this year so far. It was a 5-0 victory at home, and now we're playing them on the road. So let's see if we can beat them. Again. And again. And again. Alright, so Ryan Miller in net for us. John Graham in net for the Panthers. And we won 5-0 again. It looks like it doesn't matter where we play. When we play the Panthers, we win 5-0 apparently. So we outshot them 59-14. Brian McCabe was the first star of that game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Pretty good game. Karel Rakunek was the second star with an assist, and Alexei Yashin was the third star with a goal and an assist. So we scored 2 goals in the first period. Magnus Arvidsson scored his first from Karel Rakunek and Brian McCabe, and then Matt Cullen scored short-handed from Zdeno Chara and Sheldon Surrey. 2-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second, Yashin scored his 10th from Alfredson and Brian McCabe. It was 3-0 after 2. And then we scored, or should I say Brian McCabe scored twice in the third period. His first one from Marian Osa and Joe Thornton, and his second one on the power play from Alexei Yashin and Patrick Eliash. 5-0's our final score. And Karel Rakunek is injured. He's there to replace Tim Gleason. Now I'm gonna need to put him on the injury list himself. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna get Derek Morris up or Semi Salo. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's get Derek Morris. Oh, yeah, that's true. We have a quote-unquote rivalry with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, lots of players available on waivers. So we have Wendell Clark. We have Jay McKee. We have Martin Sonnenberg. We have Timo Parssinen. And we have Patrick Travers. I'm good, thank you. Alright, so as we just saw, Tampa Bay is struggling mightily. They are 5-16 to start the season, which is good for last in the East. Of course, they have Le Cavalier hurt, if I remember correctly. They sure do. And then they have Marc Chouinard, who is also injured. So those two are not going to be playing this game. Then we have Kevin Weeks and Frederick Norena in net. That's not all that... Oh, God, that lineup is scary bad. Paul Mara, Pavel Kubina, Bryce Salvador, Rick Jackman, Brian Fahey, Brad Lukowicz, Jan Vopat, Serge Aubin, Benoit Brunet, Brad May, Mikko Eloranta, Zvitov Olvedstad, Adams, Scott Nicol, Damon Lenko, Eric Perrin, Matthew Barnaby, Rob DiMaio, Brad Richards, and Karitonov. Wow. This is not a good lineup. Brad Richards must be feeling alone. Alright, so we are going to Ryan Miller again. They are going to Frederick Norena. And we won 6-3. We outshot them 54-15. Sheldon Surrey was the first star. He had 2 assists. Daniel Alfredson was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Adam Denmarsh, third star with a goal and an assist as well. Alright, so Marian Osa opened up the scoring in the first on the power play from Patrick Eliash and Joe Thornton. And then Adam Denmarsh from Sheldon Surrey and Jason Spezza. And then Tampa Bay scored. So it was 2-1 after 1. And then in the second period, Tampa Bay tied the game. And then Daniel Alfredson scored on the power play from Yashin and Denmarsh. It was 3-2. But then Matthew Barnaby, with 1 second to go in the second period, tied the game 3-3. So it was tied at 3 after 2. And Tampa Bay fans were like, oh my god, we might win a game. But we scored 3 goals in the third period. So Pavel Datsyuk scored from Mike Sillinger and Daniel Alfredson, and then Magnus Arvidsson from Zdeno Chara and Sheldon Surrey. And in an empty net, Patrick Eliash would seal the deal from Magnus Arvidsson and Niklas Avlid. 6-3 was the final score. And Pavel Datsyuk is yet again a left winger, so he started as a left winger for us and he was moved to center. Now he's moved back to the wing. That's interesting. We cannot seem to figure out what we want to do with this guy. Oh, Brian Rafalski is suspended. He's gonna miss 5 games, and we're about to play New Jersey, so that's gonna help us out. And Richard Park in New York Rangers is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. Alright, so Martin St. Louis in Philadelphia is back from his suspension. And Tim Gleason should be back soon from his injury. Alright, so the Devils are kind of struggling this year. That's new. Usually they're pretty good. So they are 10-10-4, and that's good for 9th in the East. They are 1-0. We are 1-0 against them this year with a 5-2 win at home. We are playing them at home again. Alright, they're going to send Brent Johnson in net. We're going to go to Ryan Miller again. And we won 3-0. So a shutout for Ryan Miller. Oh, it's actually a good shutout. That's one where he had some shots. Because we outshot New Jersey 38-34. So he did make 34 saves. That was good for first star. Sheldon Surrey was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Zdeno Chara was the third star without any points on his score sheet. There were 15,279 people in attendance for this game, and all of the scoring happened in the third period. So Alexei Yashin scored from Pavel Datsyuk and Daniel Alfredson, then Marian Osa scored from Joe Thornton and Sheldon Surrey. And finally, Sheldon Surrey, with 30 seconds to go, scored in an empty net from Chris Kelly and Brian McCabe. 3-0 was the final score. All right. Oh, Mike Comrie is available. Maybe I should pick him up just for... because the Sens got Mike Comrie like 5 million times. It's an exaggeration. I like to make jokes about it because we went and got him a couple times. God, do I want to pick up Mike Comrie? How much is he paid? Yeah, he has a small salary. Huh, I'm gonna try and claim him. Teemu Selanne extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against Chicago. And Tim Gleason is about to come back. We just said that not too long ago. Alright, we are about to play the Bruins. The Bruins is another team that's struggling right now, and we're about to play them in Boston. So Boston is 9-15-2, which is good for 13 in the East. Alright, so they do have Josef Stampel and Mariusz Czerkawski hurt, so those two are not going to be playing. And then they have Nabokov and Vokun in net. The goaltending is good. That's not the issue. John Michael Lyles, Sandis Ozelinch, Mark Stewart, Don Sweeney, Jonathan Girard, Craig Rivet, Mike Van Ryn, Petrasek, and Tanabe on D. That's actually a decent D. Then David Moss, Claude Lapointe, Keith Primo, Patrice Bergeron, Josh Holden. Well, Bergeron is 18 years old and he's already a 2.5-star player. Josh Holden, Mike Ritchie, Andrew Hilbert, Oli Jokinen, Glenn Murray, David Viborny, Scott Young, and Maxim Sushinsky. It's not the greatest team, but I think that they're better than what their record is showing. Gotta be careful. So Ryan Miller in net for us, Yevgeny Nabokov in net for Boston, and we won 3-1. We outshot the Bruins 45-21 in that one. Marian Osa was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. David Tanabe was the second star with an assist. And Zdeno Chara was the third star with a goal and an assist. So with 10 seconds to go in the first period, Marian Osa opened up the scoring. It was his 10th of the season. Assisted by Joe Thornton and Zdeno Chara. It was 1-0 Sens after 1. And then in the second period, Keith Primo tied the game at 1. And then with 7 seconds to go in the second period, Zdeno Chara scored from Pavel Datsyuk. It was 2-1 Sens after 2. And then in the third period, Joe Thornton scored from Patrick Elias and Marian Osa. It was 3-1, and that score would hold. No! Marian Osa is hurt for 3 weeks with a strained growing muscle. Not Marian Osa. Well, did I get Mike Comrie? Maybe I get to call him up. I don't know if I got him or not. I don't think so. I didn't get a message. Nope, I don't see Mike Comrie anywhere in there. Alright, so who am I getting? Let's see. Buczynski has 10 points in 21 games. Mike Fisher 4 and 12. Ladislav Nagy 11 and 21. Chris Neal. Yeah, let's try Ladislav Nagy. We've had him for a little bit and we haven't been really using him much, so let's see what happens with that. Alright, so you can have your number 23, I'm fine with that. I'm not in the business of trying to make you upset for no reason. Oh, Goran Bezina is available. I am not going to pick him up. Oh, Al McInnes, the 40-year-old, got suspended. He's going to miss 7 games. There was no stopping Yannick Perreault. He had a hat-trick. 3 goals against the Blues. All right. Steve Yzerman has recorded 1,500 games played in his career. He's 38. Stevie Y. 3-star player. Yeah, he's slowed down. Azito. Oh, yeah, 63 points last year. He has 33 in 30 games this year so far. But last year was a little bit of a down season from. Excellent passing leads to productive night for Scott Niedermayer, who had 5 assists against the Islanders in a 10-4 win. Memorable night for Scott Gomez in that same game. He had 4 goals and an assist. Richard Park's suspension with the Rangers is over. He is back in the lineup. And Teemu Selanne extends his goal streak to 6 games with 2 goals and 2 assists against the Stars. Pretty good. Alright, so we are about to play Tampa Bay. We just beat them in Tampa Bay like a couple games ago. So we are 1-0 against them. They are 5-19-1 on the season, so dead last in the East. Alright, so they are going to Frederick Norena. We are going to Ryan Mitter. And we won 5-4 in overtime, so they made us work for it. We outshot them 51-30. Alexei Yashin was a first star. He had a goal and an assist. Brad Lukowicz was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Martin Avlat was the third star with 2 assists. We had 13,921 people in attendance for that one. Alright, so Sheldon Surrey opened up the scoring in the first from Jason Spezza and Martin Avlat. And then Tampa Bay tied the game. It was tied at 1. And then Patrick Eliash scored in the second period on the power play from Daniel Alfredson and Alexei Yashin. It was 2-1 Suns. And then Tampa Bay tied the game, made it 2-2. And then we took the lead back. Pavel Datsyuk scored from Derek Morris with 4 seconds left to go in the second. It was 3-2 after 2. Then Tampa Bay actually took a 4-3 lead into the third period, but with 2:58 to go in the period, Nicholas Avlid tied the game, assisted by Matt Cullen and Martin Avlat. It was tied at 4. And then Alexei Yashin played the hero in overtime on the power play, assisted by Daniel Alfredson, and 5-4 was our final score. Uh-oh. Now we have Datsyuk that's hurt. Oh, it's only for 4 days. Okay, I'm fine. That's okay. Whew. Oh, but Matt Cullen is hurt too. He's day-to-day as well. Okay, so who are my... So I guess Arvidsson and Michael Ryder are going to draw into the lineup, huh? Right, Tom Fitzgerald has competed in 1,000 games. So he played that game against the Red Wings. Didn't get a point. Karel Rakunik might be coming back soon. Tim Gleason actually is coming back. So we are sending Derek Morris back down. And we are getting Tim Gleason back in the lineup. There you go. Teemu Selanne extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal against Edmonton. Good job. Alright, so we are about to play Boston. So again, we just played them. It was in Boston and we won 3-1. They are now 10-17-2. They are 13th in the East. Not a great season for the Bees. Right, Thomas Vokoun in net for Boston. Ryan Miller in net for the Senators. And we won 2-1. Excuse me. So It's been the weather where I live has been really bad, where it gets pretty cold at night and then pretty warm during the day. So I've mentioned that on a couple other videos what it does to me. So yeah, sometimes my voice is gonna get weird and everything. So anyway, so let's see. So we won 2-1. We outshot Boston 39-18. Chris Phillips was the first star of that game. He had an assist. Thomas Vokoun, despite the loss, was the second star with 37 saves, and then Don Sweeney was the third star with an assist. We had 13,669 people in attendance for this game. Patrick Eliash opened up the scoring in the first on the power play from Yashin and Brian McCabe. And then Petrus Bergeron tied the game. It was tied at 1 after 1. And then in the second period, Mike Selinger scored from Chris Phillips and Magnus Arvidsson. And nobody knew at the time, but that would be the game winner. 2-1 the final score. So Jochen Hecht in Colorado is suspended. He's going to miss one game. 26-year-old, a star and a half talent. Brettel has recorded 1,250 games played. Didn't get a point though. He's 39, 2.5 star player still. And Karel Rakunek might come back soon. Matt Cullen ready for contact. Alright, that's good. He should be back soon. Datsuk almost ready to go. Karel Rakunek is good to go. There you go. Sent him down to the minors because that's where he should be. Alright, so our next game is in a few days. 3 days. Yeah, I took care of that already. Pavel Trenka is available on waivers. I am not going to pick him up. Whew, my apologies. This is bad. No further action needed for Phoenix's Ryan Beda, so he's not suspended. Oh, Teemu Selanne is hurt with a fractured rib. He's gonna miss 4 weeks. Yikes! He was on a goal-scoring streak too. All right. Kai Nurminen has been put on waivers for... I don't even know that I can count to how many times he's been put on waivers. This is ridiculous. Kyle Rossiter is also available. I am not going to pick him up. Neither will I pick Kai Nurminen. I didn't pick up Kai Nurminen when he wasn't an alpha star player. I am not going to pick him up now. Craig Rive is suspended in Boston. He's going to miss a game. Strong night for Glenn Murray in that same game. He had a hat-trick against Montreal. Ooh, Montreal got shut out 5-0. And I believe it was in Montreal too. Montreal fans are going to be upset about that one. Brian Rafalski is back from suspension. And Martin Gélina has played in 1,000 game pretty quietly. And he celebrated with a goal against Tampa Bay. Jochen Hecht is back from suspension in Colorado. Alright, Matt Cullen. Alright, so there's movement or progress on my injured players. Alright, and we are about to play the Chicago Blackhawks. So Chicago is not doing good this year. They had a horrible season last year, I believe, from memory, that they finished dead last in the West. They are 10-17-4. Now let's take a look at their lineup here. So let's. Oh, they have quite a few injuries. So Jeremy Roenick is hurt and put on injured reserve. He won't play for sure. DJ Smith is also not going to play. He's hurt. And then we have Tyler Arneson and Peter Nordstrom, who are hurt but capable of playing. Corey Crawford and Scott Clemenson are in net. Duncan Keith, Kim Janssen, Brent Seabrook, Chris Chelios, Numelin, Jesper Deuce. This is not a great team. I mean, the D is okay, but up front it's Barron. Alright, so Chicago's going to send Scott Clemenson in net. We are going to Ryan Miller. I think Ryan Miller has started every single game this month so far. And we won 4-3. Alright, so we outshot Chicago 56-21. Sheldon Surrey was the first star. He had 2 goals. Byron Ritchie was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Alexei Yashin was the third star with 2 goals as well. So 14,268 people in attendance for that one. Alexei Yashin opened up the scoring in the first on the power play from Daniel Alfredson and Patrick Eliash, and then Chicago tied the game. It was tied at 1. Then Sheldon Surrey scored in the second, his 10th of the season from Mike Salinger, and then Chicago tied the game again, and then we took the lead again. Alexei Yashin scored from Pavel Datsuk, 3-2 after 2. Then we took a 4-2 lead. Sheldon Surrey scored his second of the game from Magnus Arvidsson. It was 4-2, and then Tim Taylor gave some hope to the Blackhawks by making it 4-3, but nobody else would score, and 4-3 is our final score. Patrice Bergeron has a memorable game. He had a goal and 4 assists against Calgary. So 18 years old and already pretty good. In that same game, Glenn Murray had a hat-trick, 3 goals. And Craig Rivek came back from suspension. And Matt Cullen is ready to play. Well, you can play. Memorable game for Kyle McLaren, who had 4 assists against Columbus. So Kyle McLaren plays in Calgary right now. 26 years old, a star-and-a-half player. Toronto's Marchand is not suspended, so still in the lineup. And there was no stopping Eric Cole, who had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Washington. Again, my apologies. I didn't realize it would be that bad tonight. It's it's pretty bad. There's also a storm getting ready to hit us, so it does all kinds of stuff to my poor aging body. Alrighty, so we are about to play the Rangers. We are 1-0 against the Rangers. We did play them in New York earlier this season and beat them 4-1. Rangers are doing pretty good. They are 16-12-3, which is good for 5th in the East. Alright, so they are sending the King and Rick Lundqvist in net, and we're still going to Ryan Miller. Why not? He hasn't lost a game so far this month. And we won 6-0. And we outshot the Rangers 33-30. Ryan Miller was the first star with 30 saves. Alexei Yashin was the second star with 3 goals. And Brian McCabe was the third star with a goal and an assist. 15,103 people in attendance for this game. Alright, so Yashin scored his first of 3 in this game, his 15th of the season on the power play from Patrick Eliash. Then Alexei Yashin again scored on the power play again from Daniel Alfredson, and then A little bit later, Michael Ryder scored on the power play as well from Pavel Datsyuk and Joe Thornton. So it was 3-0 after 1. We made them pay for their indiscipline. Then in the second period, Brian McCabe scored his 5th from Matt Cullen and Tim Gleason, 4-0 after 2. Then in the third period, Tim Gleason scored from Brian McCabe and Mike Salinger, and finally Alexei Yashin from Jason Spezza. 6-0 was our final score. Now they're going to tell us that Yashin had a hat-trick, and we were there. Yay! Oh, Nikolishin is available. I'm not going to pick him up. He is only an Alpha Star player anymore. Rod Brennamore has tallied 300 goals in his career. He had a goal and 3 assists against the Islanders. Wow. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 assists against Atlanta. So Mario Lemieux, 4-star player at 38 years old. And we are about to play the Florida Panthers again. So we are 2-0 against them. As we know, we beat them 5-0 both times. Once at home and once in Florida. They are now 11, 19, and 4, which is good for 12th in the East. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Alright, John Graham in net for them. Ryan Miller in net for us. Let's see if we can beat them 5-0 again. We won, but it was 2-1. A little bit disappointed we couldn't establish like a tendency there. Alright, so we outshot them 45-11. John Graham was the first star of the game despite losing with 43 saves. Kenny Janssen for Florida was the second star with an assist, and then Jason Spezza, third star with 2 assists. 12,838 people in attendance for that one. Mike Salinger opened up the scoring in the first from Alexei Yashin and Jason Spezza, and then Alexei Yashin from Jason Spezza and Zdeno Chara. It was 2-0 Sands after 1. Then in the third period Christian Uzelius scored and took the shutout away from Ryan Miller. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 13 games. He had a goal and an assist against Montreal. Ray Whitney extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against Anaheim. Alright. And we are about to play the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. Buffalo's doing good. They are 18, 13, and 2. That's good for 4th in the East. We are, however, 2-0 against Buffalo this year. Both games were at home, though. So let's see if maybe they're going to play us tougher on their own ice. Alright, so Ryan Miller in net again. Dominik Hasek in net for Buffalo. And we won 5-1. 51-25 the shots in our favor. Pavel Datsyuk was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Alexei Yashin was the second star. He also had a goal and an assist. And Jason Spezza was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so we took a 2-0 lead into the first period. Matt Cullen scored from Martin Havlat and Chris Kelly. And then Daniel Alfredson scored his 10th from Joe Thornton and Patrick Eliash. So 2-0 after 1. Then Patrick Marleau, who was briefly a Senator, scored to make it 2-1 in the second, but shortly after Daniel Alfredson scored from Pavel Datsyuk and Mike Salinger, it was 3-1 after 2, and we scored 2 more goals in the third period. Pavel Datsyuk scored from Alexei Yashin and Jason Spezza, and finally Alexei Yashin from Jason Spezza. 5-1 the final score. Alright, Bill Guerin is back from suspension. Oh, there might be a coaching change in Nashville. Rick Dudley might lose his job. The Predators are 10-20-3, so not doing too good over there. Zygmunt Palffy has earned 500 assists in his career. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Flyers. Alright, in a couple days we're going to be playing the Pittsburgh Penguins, so we have only 3 games left here in December. Alright, so we have Pittsburgh on the menu for tonight. We did win against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. It was a 2-1 win, so we're 1-0 against them. Pittsburgh is 17-14-2. That's good for 7th in the East. And it's a tie, 2-2. Sorry, we had Ryan Miller in net and they had Trevor Kidd. I forgot to say that. So we outshot them 36-33, so it was a pretty tight game all put together. Patrick Elias was the first star, he had a goal and an assist. Sean McEachern was the second star with an assist, and Jason Spezza was the third star with an assist as well. We had 16,583 people in attendance for this game. Alexei Yashin scored his 20th from Jason Spezza and Patrick Elias. And then in the second period, Pittsburgh would tie the game 1-1. And then in the third, Jagger gave Pittsburgh the lead with a little less than 5 minutes to go in the third period. But then Patrick Elias tied the game from Martin Havlat and Matt Cullen. And it was tied at 2. Now I'm kind of afraid to click the button. There's a couple messages there. Oh, okay. No injuries. So Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 14 games. He had an assist against us. And Alexei Yashin extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal. Suspension for Scott Nichol of Tampa Bay. He's going to miss 5 games. Al McInnes is back from suspension in Calgary. Tom Fitzgerald was looked at in Chicago, but he's not suspended. Same for David Leguan in Nashville. Looked at, no suspension. And Ray Whitney extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Kings. Alright, 2 games left. Jarkko Ruutu is available. I am not picking this guy up. And Chris Simon is available. I am also not picking this guy up. Ray Whitney extends his assist streak to 10 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Kings. And Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 15 games. He had an assist against New Jersey. Alright, so we are about to play the Trashers. We are 1-0-1 against Atlanta. Both games were in Atlanta, and the last one was a 1-1 tie. They had played us pretty tight. Atlanta struggling, though. They are 12-22-3 right now, and that's good for 12th in the East at the moment. So Ryan Miller in net for us, and Mike Dunham, former Ottawa Senator, in net for Atlanta. And we won 3-1. Alright, so we outshot Atlanta 59-21 in this game. Patrick Elias was the first star, he had 2 goals. Danny Eatley was the second star with a goal. And Martin Havlat was the third star with an assist. 15,407 people in attendance for this game. Alright. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second, Danny Eatley scored. But then we scored our 3 goals right after that. Matt Cullen scored from Zdeno Chara and Martin Havlat. And then Patrick Elias on the power play from Brian McCabe and Alexei Yashin. And Patrick Elias again from Daniel Alfredson and Joe Thornton. 3-1 was the final score. Nobody scored in the third. And finally, we are about to play Boston for the third time this month. Corey Summon extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and an assist against Minnesota. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal against Chicago. Ray Whitney's assist streak ended at 10 games. He was held scoreless against Nashville. Brad Bombardier is suspended. He now plays in Washington. I think I forgot to mention that because of salaries for rookies, I had to let go of a player, and I chose Brad Bombardier. He had not played for us anyway, so Brad, you have been cut. And you are now in Washington, and now suspended for 1 game. So you've been having an eventful season so far. Alright, so for the third time this month, we're playing the Bruins. Last game of the month. Bruins are now 13-21-3, good for 12th in the East. We won both of the first games. And Ryan Miller, why not? He's played every single game this month, why not play again? And Thomas Vokoun in net for Boston. And we lost the last game of the month. We had an undefeated month, and we went and lost 2-1 in Boston right before the month ended. We outshot Boston 29-14 into that one. David Viborny was the first star. He had a goal. Pavel Datsyuk was the second star with an assist. And John Michael Lyles was a third star with a goal. So Jason Spezza actually opened up the scoring in the first from Pavel Datsyuk and Sheldon Souray. And then in the second, Viborny scored. It was tied at 1. And then John Michael Lyles scored in the third period, made it 2-1. Nobody else would score, and 2-1 was the final tally. And Datsyuk is hurt with a day-to-day injury again. Come on, man, stay healthy. I need you. Alright. So the NHL player poll results released. The best skater is Jaromir Jagr, the hardest shot Rob Blake, smartest Marian Hossa, toughest Ty Domi, fastest is Sergei Fedorov, the best role model is Steve Yzerman, the cleanest is Brad Richards, toughest goalie to beat is Dominik Hasek, and the coach you'd most like to play for, Joel Quenneville in Minnesota. Alright, so we are December 31st, so I'm going to click one more time to bring us to January 1st. Suspension over for Brad Bombardier. He is back in the lineup. Jaromir Jagr has earned 750 assists in his career with a goal and an assist against the Islanders. Mario Lemieux extends his point streak to 17 games with a goal in that same game. Ooh, alright, so the players of the month were Alexei Yashin of the Ottawa Senators and Chris Osgood of the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, Yashin, we saw a lot of Yashin in the scoring sheets. Alright, so let's take a look at the standings first. So, alright, we are now first in the East, but the Flyers are pretty tenacious there. They're only 4 points behind, although they did play 2 more games than us. So that's what it looks like. If the playoffs were to start right now, we would be facing the New Jersey Devils. And then in the West, Edmonton. Wow, Edmonton is ahead of Detroit. And then Phoenix, Colorado, San Jose, Columbus, LA, and St. Louis. Wow. Definitely a few surprises there. Alright, so let's take a look at our stats. Alright, so we have Alexei Yashin, who has 36 points in 26 games, and then Elias 34 in 36, Alfredson 31 in 36, Sheldon Souray 30 and 36, that's pretty good. Datsyuk 28 and 31, Spezza 23 and 36, then it goes on. Joe Thornton is struggling this year. I hope he turns it around. He was the best player in the league last year. Alright, and then for the league, we have Brettel as the best goal scorer with 30 goals already for the Golden Brett. Yashin is 5th with 20. Then the best passer is Mark Rickey with 30 assists. Brettel is the best scorer in the league right now with 52 points. That's 5 more than Mario Lemieux, who's 2nd. Alright. So that's pretty much where we're at here. So we had an incredibly good month. That was really good. Eugene Melnick better be happy with that. We lost only one game, and it was the last game of the month. Then we had a tie, and then we won absolutely every other game that we've played. Ryan Miller played all the games, so there's that. Alright, so, well, I think that's it for today. So, as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in. And if you've liked the video, feel free to leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.